So here we are on Taco Tuesday, and I am not able to live stream. I tried, it just kept kicking me out over and over. So here we are again. And I don't like this. I would prefer to be live with you guys. And I want to talk about modesty today. Modest is hottest, as they like to say in the evangelical world, the taco world, the totalitarian authoritarianism, church or Christian organization. I didn't coin that, nor did my friend Cindy Kunzman. It was coined a long time ago by somebody else. I've written in my community, but I don't have the guy's name sitting right in front of me. It was somebody that I'm not as familiar with. If you don't know who I am, I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. I used to write for Pathos a column called No Longer Quivering, where I talked about tacos. I talked about these high demand religious organizations that are usually part of evangelical town. They're usually evangelical in nature, and they are usually not affiliated with any sort of denomination. They're out there making it up as they go along, and there's so many of them, and there's so many of their enforcers that are just everywhere. So let me just say, don't bully anybody I'm going to talk about, and these are just my opinions. I'm going to throw that out there first. We are right on the cusp of the most gross season of the year, as far as I'm concerned, with religion, with the taco type religions I'm talking about. What is that? I always used to call it bikini verklempting season. This year it is yoga pants leggings verklempting season. Why? Because every year we get these guys, these male cultural enforcers, usually on the lower end of the spectrum. It's usually not the guys up there on Mount Olympus who are screaming this crap out, but those guys, and they're coming up with all the reasons why women have to gatekeep sex via their bodies, and reducing us to body parts, reducing us to less thans, othering us over our bodies and their reactions to our bodies. I thought it was gross and disgusting when I was part of the evangelical world. I think it's more gross and disgusting now. So every year around this time, when they start verklempen, when they start just throwing tantrums about this stuff and start trying to tell everybody wear a burlap sack, I watch this and laugh. There aren't many female cultural enforcers that I've seen that jump on this. There are a few I'm going to mention. So it started a couple of weeks ago with the whole yoga pants thing, which just pisses me off because you can tell the guys who are talking about this have never been around women that exercise regularly or run their lives the way they want to run it. All they're looking at is the fact that they can see the curve of somebody's behind. And I just find that the most repulsive thing on the planet. Yoga pants are very comfortable. They're very practical for any number of things. And not everybody wears them so tight that you could read a dime in their back pocket, which is what they're trying to assume. I want to show you something. I'm dressed for yoga today because I am going to be taking a yoga class. You see my blouse? That covers my large rear end. Excuse me, I'm the size of a barge right now, and I know it. All the eating and none of the moving. My yoga pants, my leggings. My leggings. I love these leggings. I love, 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 love them. They're vividly colored. They're comfortable. Like I said, I am dressed for yoga today. And yoga is very popular here in Costa Rica. I've practiced yoga since I was about 16, 17 years old, off and on, until I became really enmeshed with my old taco type church. At which time I stopped it because I was shamed out of doing yoga, chanting demon names, which I don't think Lilia Spolis ever forced anybody to chant a demon name. In fact, she dedicated her book to Jesus, if I remember right. Her book I used to have that I did yoga from when she wasn't on TV. So they verklempt about clothing. And the thing is, it's not just yoga pants. Today, this year, for some reason, yoga pants leggings are the enemy. And here's the thing. Do you know what Jesus says about men lusting over a woman? He tells men to poke their eyes out. He does not order women to immediately gatekeep their own bodies and to wear clothing loose enough to smuggle everybody at the border under. He doesn't do any of that. He doesn't say, hey, ladies, cover everything up. He doesn't accuse them of sin. He doesn't do any of that. He just says, men, if you're lusting over a woman, poke your eyes out. He points out that this is a head and a heart issue. It's not a practical issue. Now, one of the females that every year verklemps about this, she just goes nuts on the modesty thing, is Lori Alexander. But she makes me laugh because her particular yoga pants are, well, when I was young, they called them string bikinis. Now they're thongs, they call them. I've heard them called G-strings. There's all kinds of different names for these things. But basically, it's a skimpy bikini front, and you have a string-like piece of spandex running right between your butt cheeks. Now, I don't wear those because I have way too much lumpy bumpy on the butt to ever get away with that crap. I'm in my 60s. But here in Tamarindo, you see those on the beach all the damn time. And Lori is always screeching about these things, talking about them, and not wanting her husband to see these thonged behinds. Talking to the point where she said one time she wrote a piece about how she would like to have a paddle and go along and paddle all the women who were on the beach, showing their rear ends to her husband. And I laughed so hard at that because that very day, my husband and I went to the beach. And as we sat down on Tamarindo Beach, this beautiful young lady ran in front of us. And about 5-10 yards in front of us, she was doing the stuff you do when you are loosening up to surf. All very basic stuff, including bending down and doing all kinds of stretches. Stuff I used to do back when I was skinny and would do this stuff. So she's doing this, and one of the things she's doing is a toe touch, because you have to be super limber if you're going out there on that board and you're going to push yourself up from the board. You have to have everything working right. So she is there, toe touching, sticking her thonged rear end up in the air, right in our faces almost. And I laughed and looked at my husband. I said, so did you pop a boner yet? Because we had actually been laughing over Lori's column earlier, talking about that. And then we laughed some more. And there was no lust. Nobody fell about. None of that. In Tamarindo, I've seen so many women come to church not wearing a whole lot of clothing. I'm just going to throw that one just right out there in the open and talk about it. Women coming to church in bikinis with see-through cover-ups and various things. And do you know how many men stare, drool, and lust? Can you guess? Zero. Zero, zero, zero. Nobody does it. Now, somebody may secretly lust for all I know, but nobody openly does it. Nobody throws a fit about it. Nobody gets up on the platform and talks about how distracted they are, which happened at my old church with our pastor. He was distracted by, to show it the shame. Do you see what that is? Yes, it's a bra strap. The strap to my poor, hard-working brassiere that's carrying these old shriveled bags around. I suggest if you have lustful thoughts, just seeing someone's bra strap, your problems go way deeper than you might imagine, into some really strange places, considering bra straps slip all the time. You may be liable to see them. Shit, I know you see them on me all the time here. Sometimes they slip with me. And it's not lust. Let me tell you, not more lust worthy, I should say. If I had a quarter for every guy I've seen walking around Tamarindo whose shorts are slipping down, and I get to see a glimpse of their underwear instead of going, oh, underwear, butts. It's like, oh, no, dude, cover that. you know? So women aren't to gatekeep sex. That's never been their role. Men are not animals. Men are fully functioning human beings just like women are, and we're equal. If you are lusting over random body parts that you're seeing off of people, then your problem is deeper. It's a heart issue, it's a head issue. It's an issue that you have to deal with before God. Not a woman walking around in yoga pants. I was trying to pull my yoga pants knee all the way up, but the fabric is stretchy, but it ain't that stretchy. Here we go. There's my knee. Not a woman in yoga pants. It's not her responsibility to make sure that you don't lust. That's on you, dude. So the other thing they like to say is modest is hottest. They push out modesty crap a whole lot. I used to have a lot of problems with my youngest child when we went to our old church, who was constantly getting on to be about, that's too tight, it's too low, your bra strap is showing. So my middle school daughter, she was middle school age at the time, would try to gatekeep what I was wearing, and it was just like, girl. I knew she had absorbed a lot of the teachings that I thought were baloney, but that was one that surprised me, that was so pushed and promoted at my old church that it was endemic. And it can really cause problems. It teaches women to have a sense of shame over their own bodies. And that's a hard one to recover from. If you are taught that your body is shameful and sinful and that nobody needs to be looking at it, but your husband, when you're supposed to morph into, oh, maybe just this side of a stripper and be bold and sexual and show him everything under the sun and be outgoing sexual with him, when you're taught that you're shameful and that you have to cover everything, that is a really hard leap to make. So everything about this sets women up for failure. It either teaches them that they're shameful and sentences them to a sexual life of no fun whatsoever, of just shame, and not being and beating themselves up for not being the sexual creature that their churches are teaching them that they need to be with their husbands. Like I said, just this side of an adult entertainer, so many of them. I was lucky. I didn't come up with any of that, so I didn't absorb that, but I sure saw that, and I saw how it harmed them. I watched all my wonderful sisters at my old church beat themselves up over this. I remember a particular women's retreat where women were talking about what failures they were as wives and mothers. And I knew these women. I knew that they successfully ran their lives. I knew that most of them were not failures in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I was amazed at some of the things that a lot of them had to deal with and how they managed to do it in such a wonderful way. So many of them. Yet they saw themselves as a rank failure. That always kind of blew my mind. This is the real victims of this hyper modesty culture. Women pay the price. Women have to carry the shame. women. Women are the ones that pay for everything in Taco Town. They do. And the men sit around like some kind of tin-plated bully dictator baby man that cannot be confronted with any body part that is not completely covered up. And see, I've got sleeveless on today, and that was another big no-no in my old church. You did not wear sleeveless blouses because your bra strap might slip and you might make that man lust. So we were required to sweat our biscuits off on days like today where it's already over 100 outside, and you weren't allowed to do a damn thing about it except wear sleeves to about here. Nope, we're not doing that anymore. And we never really did it then anyway. Um, so our own pastor used to preach this nonsense from the pulpit. I think the worst version of that I ever heard. And I always rejected this for pretty much what it is. It's a man thing. It's not anything to do with women. It's the sheltered, petty, dictatorial guys that run this that are so weak and wimpy that they can't see a bra strap without ka-choing. They can't handle it. So the pastor got up and preached a sermon about modesty, and he called out various members of the church for their immodesty. He called out an elder's daughter and said that she wore too short of skirts, she wore too low of tops, she didn't wear a bra, and spaghetti string tops were not going to fly with him. So that's when he trotted out the sleeve rule for all females and so many other things. If your dress or skirt did not hit 2 to 3 inches below your knee, you were not to wear it there. No pants, none of that. And I remember looking over at the worship team leader, my friend Lana. I looked over at her because she was wearing a pantsuit that day and mouthing, because she was wearing a pantsuit and on a sleeveless blouse. Because if you are up on the platform, which is essentially a stage, they call it a platform, but it is a stage, and you were under theatrical lights, which are extremely hot, he had just sentenced us all to sweat to death and not ever be comfortable again. And later, I remember talking to a lot of the ladies in my own age group, the 40 to 50 range, and saying, what the discussing these, and everybody was defiant. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm not giving up sleeveless blouses. I don't care what he's saying, or loose pants, or anything else. And that was really the truth of the matter. This is all an attempt to control women, to put them under their thumbs, these good patriarchs. If they can control everything about you and minimize you and make you not a problem for them. But if you're going to be an equal partner to them and you're going to have thoughts, feelings, ideas about things, if you're going to say, hey, I am wearing a sleeveless blouse, I don't care what you think, you're going to be a problem to them. So they want to make you as small as possible, as absolutely small as possible, and shut you up. So this is all just another silencing technique. So this is normally where I would flip birds and throw a couple of really obscene words out there, but I'm not going to do that. I would want to, but I'm not going to. Here's what I'm going to say to those cultural enforcers, those males that are telling everybody what they can and cannot wear. Bless your heart. And I'm saying that with all the Southern within me. Bless your heart. You, because that's about all I can say to that. It's a toxic theology. It's a toxic idea about women. It gives women all the power of sex and all the gatekeeping while shaming them for it. And that is wrong. Own your own sexuality in whatever way you want. Don't let these weak little jerks tell you what to do. Okay, you guys, I am going to go ahead and go. I've been ranting for 20 minutes, and that is plenty. I'm sorry this is not a live stream. I set up for a live stream in plenty of time. It gave me no problems. right up until I hit go live. The second I hit go live, it said that it wasn't possible at that time, that it was not possible, that I was going to have to end the stream and try again. So here we are, and I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to go live when it's live and just be in the chat room with you guys, because this is actually pretty damn ridiculous. And I know it's not YouTube. It's my stupid computer. It is my stupid ISP. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately. Um, so since I'm gonna have to upload, I think I'm gonna just start exploring around the house with my iPad. That ought to be fun. Instead of you guys staying stuck in my bedroom. Okay, thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, all that crap on the way out if you would. And I will see you for sure on Friday. This time I'm going to check out whether I have internet and do a video ready to upload at exactly that point if this is a problem.